What they're about is kind of just giving you something to get started on retirement planning. People typically coming into the seminars are kind of thinking about retirement and
Right.
are curious what goes into it. So we try to give some high level information on some things that you should be digging up and thinking about leading into that process.
Mike Cravath. So let me ask you this. We've done, I'll give you the credit because it really is deserved. You've been doing a lot of work with Procter & Gamble, soon to be retirees, doing a lot of on-site seminars at our office. How many have you done in total?
It's been several weeks now. I think we've done 5 total, and we still have 3 more coming up.
Yeah. And it wasn't intended that, right? We were just going to do 2 or 3, but there's been a lot of interest, right?
Yeah, typically we'll just do 2 running weeks of them, and we'll get a handful of people in. But there's been a lot of interest in the springtime ones this year. So I mean, as long as people are willing to come in, I'll definitely put the seminars on and give them the information they're looking for. So we just kept filling up the room, so we just kept rolling them out.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about. I know the answer, but tell our viewers a little bit about what those seminars are about. So they come in and they're free, right?
Yeah, they're free for anybody who wants to come in. What they're about is kind of just giving you something to get started on retirement planning. People typically coming into the seminars are kind of thinking about retirement and
Right.
are curious what goes into it. So we try to give some high level information on some things that you should be digging up and thinking about leading into that process.
Right. So it's anybody who's saying, I need to sit up and pay attention. You're going to give them the details of what they need to start paying attention to.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And so we're extending. How many more are we extending?
So as of right now, it's April 24th, and we still have 3 more coming up.
Okay.
However, the next one's already full. So we still have 2 more that are open that should be available for all shift schedules. They're 2 running Thursdays coming up here in May. So a couple more you can still sign up for.
Great. Years ago when we were a smaller team, we did these and we used to try to fill up a room of, 20, 30 people. And I think one of the reasons I like the way you're doing them now is it's easier to ask questions. It's a little more intimate. It's a little less intimidating. And I believe you usually stick around and have side conversations with folks as they're leaving or if they get there early, things like that. And then invite them to come in for that one-on-one. Is that right?
Yeah, I do like the smaller groups too. I think it's to your point, much more conversational, and the topics we go through, although they're high level, the stuff I'm going through in them. I mean, you could spend an hour on some of the topics like Social Security and healthcare planning and things along those lines. So having it conversational, having people willing to ask questions, it's very important because those questions are going to come up, and it's more comfortable in the small group setting.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're extending a couple more, and that's a pretty long stretch we've had, longer than we've done in the past. But then, you going to keep running these, or is there going to be a time off?
I am, as long as, like I said, as long as people are willing to come in and want this information, I'm happy to give it to them. But
Right.
I do think we're on the tail end here. The signups are kind of slowing down. So once we get a couple in a row that aren't completely booked, I'll probably take about 6 months off and then kick them back in at that point. And I imagine it's going to get back to what it used to be, once every 6 months, maybe 2 weeks in a row, and kind of just get back to normal. But like I said, I'll keep running them as long as people want to show up.
Yeah, and that's great. I mean, it's a very easy way for them to come spend an hour or so, get to understand things a lot better, and then, when they're ready for that one-on-one conversation, if they know where to go and how to do it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and if somebody misses these seminars, but 2 months later, if we're not in the middle of running those, they could always reach out to you, right?
Yeah, I would say if you did miss them and you wanted to sign up for them, come on in. Schedule an appointment. It's always free to come in for any kind of consultation. We can either keep it high level like the seminars and talk about the things that were in that presentation, or if you'd rather, typically the second step when we get together is getting a long-term plan together.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else you want to tell everybody?
No, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Like a Jeopardy question.
That's all I had for you.
Okay. I really appreciate you coming in. I know you've been really busy, and not only meeting folks and inviting them in, but answering questions with follow-up questions, just helping them sort of get the runway set up for them to come in for a nice smooth landing whenever they choose to retire. And I mean, we do a lot of that at our office, and you do a substantial amount. So it's good for them. They're treading on new territory. They haven't stepped through that portal of retirement. Most people only get one shot at it. And to have somebody like you, I don't want your head to get any bigger, but you're a great guy. You're easy to talk to. And I think we have a great team surrounding you. So keep up the great work, man.
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate that.
All right.